Hey, you're quick off the mark tonight, you, James.
Must be on that bloody whiz again, eh? Be live.
Cleveland police have just turned up. Sniffer dogs.
Jeez. Oh yeah, we are live now as well. How much did that go? Did that actually go on there? Oh, it did as well. Yeah, it was. We're live. We're still live now. Oh wait. Just watching it back. Hang on, people.
Is it still live, you know?
Oh.
There you go. It's all right. Here we are live.
Right. Good evening and welcome to the Monday Night Social here at Longlands Club. Caught us off the hop there. I'm James Hutchinson. Joining me tonight, AJT, back from his holidays.
Hello.
How are you doing, mate? Okay?
Yeah, good. I'm here now. I'm alive and kicking.
Good, man. Good, man. He's going to be checking us out with all the views and opinions, so give us them all tonight, Borough fans.
Aye.
AJ's on the phone, so he's going to feedback all your stuff. Typical roller coaster week in the life of a Borough fan, AJ.
Always, mate.
Disappointment with regard to maybe the transfer dealings in the January transfer window, with the finger of blame pointing in many directions, before the side pulled off arguably their best result of the season so far on Saturday, mate, with a 3-2 win at West Brom. Top goal scorers in the Championship this season. So as well as looking back to the last week in the transfer window and the West Brom game, we're going to look ahead to the Cup and League action we've got ahead this week with the games at Newport tomorrow and the big clash with those lovable chaps from Leeds at the weekend. So Borough fans, get involved as always. Your show. Are you a glass half full or half empty after the last week or so? Let us know. We'll go through your opinions, okay? So, AJ, mate, first of all, tell me how you were feeling at 11 o'clock last Thursday night after the transfer window finished.
Spent most of my Thursday in my hotel room praying we were bringing someone in, and my dad will tell you, I was in the I never left. I had the whole day, I was on my phone. We had Sky Sports on his phone. And to be honest, for about an hour that night, we sat there and we went, please bring someone in. And it was so gutting again. We had that many bad... I guess on the flip side, okay, we brought in an experienced head being Mikel. Mm-hmm. That's a positive. But if that's only a couple of decent... I know Savile was confirmed and Van La Parra came in and Mikel, but to only really bring in two players in a window that we need to strengthen, to lose the players that we lost, being the likes of Danny Batt, who was hands down one of my most favourite defenders here whilst he was here.
Right.
And the fact that we got asked to match him, if you wanted to match him, for as little as 3.5 million.
Do you think they didn't do that, though, because they were hoping to spend that money elsewhere rather than on another centre-half, do you think?
Well, I heard that. I heard that they wanted to buy John Newgill, 6 or 7 million, and try and invest in him. I don't know if you heard that one as well.
Right.
There's all sorts of rumours flying all over, but I was disappointed, if I honest with you. I was really gutted because I was just thinking, you know, we do need to strengthen. I know we beat West Brom at the weekend, it was a great result, but we need to strengthen. We need to have that strength and depth. And we just didn't do it. It was so gutting, man. Yeah.
I mean, they were linked with players like Grzycki at Hull.
Yeah.
He didn't arrive. Might have been too with the valuation. I think they wanted a lot of money for him. Jacob Murphy was a big one as well.
Massive
he was at
one.
Newcastle. He chose to go at West Brom, didn't he? And he came on at the weekend. So that obviously suggests that maybe Pulis was looking for wide players, which he said in the past he's wanted pace and wide players to come in. But like I said, did it surprise you that nobody came in, or do you think we were priced out of it all?
Does it surprise me that nobody comes to Borough? Not really, mate.
Right.
Jacob Murphy, he's an excellent winger, a lot of potential. And what I was thinking about when Borough were linked, well, on the other hand, West Brom have got Dwight Gale. He's going to know him. They're both at Newcastle. They're going to know each other. Dwight Gale's going to be in his ear telling him how good West Brom is. And then you've got Tony Pulis, who, listen, let's be fair, a lot of players get put off about Tony Pulis' football style of play. That's going to put them players off. And I did say to the person I was with, our dad at the time, I said, he's going to go to West Brom because there's a link with Dwight Gale, and the way they play their football is much more attacking and much more sort of going forward than what we are.
Yeah. Do you think the squad then, I know your answer to this, is weaker than what it was? And do you think maybe the criticism directed towards him and the club as a whole might actually, after Saturday's result and what we saw there at the Hawthorns, it might bring everybody together? Do you think it might work in our favour, the fact that we weren't able to make these additions to the squad and change the balance of the team? You think, right, we've got to go with what we've got now.
No,
Do you think it'll be better?
Yeah, it's true. Do you know what I mean? well, from now to the end of the season, the players we've got now, the players that we need.
That's it, isn't it?
To try and take us up if that's the aim. Of course, that's the aim, promotion. And promotion's the aim in financial sort of status as well, because if we do up, if we do go up, we do get the millions in the bank again. But I think that's the most important thing. I think after it all, after I sort of dealt on it or dwelt on it, or whatever afterwards, I sort of thought to myself, do you know what it is? Exactly what you just said. The manager's there, the players are there, the window's gone.
Yeah.
We can't sit there now and kick off, even though I probably will if you do lose to Leeds or whatever on Saturday. I probably will go back to it and kick off, but when you're calm, when you're collected, and when you think about it, you think to yourself, well, do you know what? Let's just get behind the players now. And I think on Saturday, I think that showed.
Yeah.
I think even when we went 2-1 behind, we were still singing, we were still behind the lads. And obviously to come back, and it is disappointing, don't get me wrong, it is disappointing that we didn't bring no one in, but like you say there, and from now until the end of the season, all we can do now is get behind
Stick
the lads.
with the lads,
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, before we leave the transfer window, Borough fans, let us know what you think about what happened during the transfer window, June, January, and probably even past transfer windows. Just one more question before we move off from that, AJ. Why do you think there was so little activity? Why do you think there's not been much in the way of incomings at the Borough? Do you think it's maybe because of money that's been spent in the past? The size of the wage bill at the club? Why do you think it is?
The wage bill is massive. And we all know the wage bill is huge. That's obviously going to... Listen, I mean, I've seen loads of things on social media saying that Borough still owe 75% of this, that and the other, and we still owe money here and there, and Borough try to go through the back door, and that's when Borough spent the millions that Gary Monk spent, and it's come back to bite us on the backside. You see it all, and when these players come, they're like George Savile, where Borough had to triple his wages in order to get to Borough.
I think that's a fair point, isn't it? I think if we're going to attract players to our club, we more or less do have to pay over the odds to get them here, don't we?
Wage-wise, you have to pay them, like you say, over the odds. And when they do come in, of course they do a job, but you think to yourself, was it really worth that much a week? But it's one of them, I think in the summer, don't be surprised if you do see some big names go out, but it might benefit us. If we don't go up, we're going to have to get rid of some big names because of the wage bill.
Another thing that was put to me at the weekend, when I was chatting about this with some of the lads at the game, was, do you think maybe that Steve Gibson's maybe held back some money, thinking about might have a new manager in the summer if we don't go up and Tony Pulis does leave and don't give him a new contract, so I need to keep some money aside for a new manager coming in to entice a manager to come here and say you've got so much money to spend. Do you think there's maybe some sort of truth in that, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. I think if we want to bring a new manager to the club, he's going to want to come and try and bring in some players that he already knows and already has history on, and that's the thing. I think Gibson probably will be maybe having 30-40 million back there, thinking, look, the new manager needs this. I can't just bring him in and expect him to have no money.
He'd probably want to reshape the whole of that squad, wouldn't he?
That's how it goes. You know what I mean? It'd be like the Tony Mowbray. That's the kind of era we're in now with the Tony Mowbray, where he had no money. But it's exactly the same with Tony Pulis. Or is Tony Pulis been offered the money and not taking it because he's got too much respect for Gibson? Is he here for a short term? That's the thing that got me. I thought, well, if you're not going to go, if he's going to leave in the summer, don't sign anybody then. Don't bring nobody in, because what is the point in Pulis? In one respect, going out and saying, right, well, I'm going to buy 5 players, but then summer I'm going to do one, and then when the new manager comes in, if like the guy Monk, Tony Pulis here, or whoever, when Monk left, Pulis came in and had all the Monk's players, and he was trying to offload them all then. So on two sides of it, there's, you know what I mean, there is two different sides that you can look at it.
Well, let us know, Borough fans, like I say, as AJ said earlier on, the fans on Saturday at the Hawthorns really got behind the lads, over 1,700 there, and the support throughout the game was fantastic. And I think you hit the nail on the head. That's what we've got to do for the remainder of the season. No matter what, this is what we've got now. And we've got to back those players. And if they produce performances like they did on Saturday and get results like that, I don't think there'll be any argument or anything like that from the Borough fans with the rest of the season.
I think, you look at our fixtures now until the end of the season, mate, they've got some hard games in there.
Well, next week's massive, isn't it?
Leeds, Sheffield United, you even got the likes of Villa away yet. Swansea's away. Bolton are fighting for their lives down there.
There's a lot of big games.
So many big games. And, if all we can do now is keep getting behind the lads, that's all we can keep doing, because at the end of the day, they need us as much as what we need them. And in order to get that player, for not, like I say, man, if us Borough fans want to see big names come back to the Borough, there's only one end of the season not to do that, and that's to go up and then get the money and then go and invest. And that's the only way you can look at it.
I think you're right, mate. Any views or opinions there from the fans, AJ, mate?
Fair few on the old iPhone 5. See you at the game, lads. Can I get an interview from George Watkin?
Is that for tomorrow or for tomorrow?
It could be for tomorrow or
Saturday, the big one.
Jacob Ross is in. He says, all right, James and AJ.
Right, Jacob.
Daniel Stephen, quality feature on Stumpeg's vid. Oh, yeah. Cheers, Daniel. We're Newport County. We're coming for you from Marcus May. Craig Burns says, "How was Tenerife?" Yeah, it wasn't bad. Bluebirds TV, he's actually a Cardiff fan. He's actually going to sit in the Borough End tomorrow.
Fantastic.
A friend of mine. I know there's a fair few Cardiff fans going actually sit in the Borough End tomorrow. So
I think it's a magical game tomorrow night. It'll capture the interest of everybody around the country. I know it's on BT Sport and the television and stuff, and a lot of people will be interested. And I think it got even more attention when the draw was made last week, when everyone found out the winners are at home to Man City. So I think there'll be a lot of interest in that game tomorrow night. So,
yeah, 100%. Stephen Trodden comes in and says, great win on Saturday. For the supporters who back the team for the full 90 minutes, we need the same back in every game.
Yeah, spot on, Stephen. Yeah.
And just one more there. James Maloney, great result of the Baggies. It's only one attackers. The squad's very thin. Imagine Wing and Tav haven't broken into the team so thin. One centre back down. Who's left back and who's right back to cover?
Yeah, I think that's a big concern there. I know we've talked about wide men and attackers, but yeah, James, I don't think you're wrong there. I think if George Friend was to get injured or suspended, Ryan Shotton's already had an injury this season, and other people have had to fill in, like Dale Fry at right back, which hasn't been ideal, but he's done a job. But that is a concern. If we lose either one of them, or if we lost both of them, we really would be in a bit of trouble there. So yeah, a lot of things which unfortunately the club were unable to address last week and bring in the players we wanted. But we've got a soldier on, and like I say, lads did us proud on Saturday, and hopefully we can do so on the rest of the season. So going on to Saturday, AJ, it's always going to be a bit of an emotionally charged fixture away at West Brom. Tony Pulis making his first return there in over 14 months. For a man that kept him in the Premier League, though, for 3 consecutive seasons, I think he finished 10th, 13th and 14th. I was a bit surprised at the level of abuse he got from some of the West Brom fans.
He got roasted.
Do you think it was justified, or you must have spoken to a few West Brom fans while you were down there, and what were they saying?
Oh, me and James out the past one before the game, just outside the away end, and he was coming at me, and I thought he was going to kill me, not Pulis at first. He was saying that apparently he was going to slate Pulis, he was going to give him everything he got. Apparently he ruined the football club. Apparently he skinted him, he got rid of all the top players. I'm sitting there thinking, look, man, I ain't Pulis, I'm just a fan of the club, you know, but they hate him down there. Let's not try and sugarcoat things.
I mean, it's like I say, over a year now since he left, and yet the level of abuse he took on Saturday, it was
a bit unfair, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, like I say, to keep a club in the Premier League, I know they've been in the Premier League for so many years before that, and West Brom do have a tradition of playing good football, and you're not always maybe going to get that with Tony Pulis, but he delivered results. It's not easy to stay in the Premier League. For 3 years he did that, and when he left them, they were out the relegation zone. Pardew took over, and
well, technically it is Pardew's fault why they went down. So when Pulis gets all the abuse, you think, but he didn't do a bad job where he was. Same as at Stoke. Stoke, he did a terrific job.
Stoke, he did a fantastic job at Stoke.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Took him here, there, and everywhere. I think he took him to Europe.
Got him into Europe. Got one FA Cup final.
So, you know, Pulis is Pulis, and don't get me wrong. 1 week I love him, 1 week I don't like him, and that's just me and every single person to do with the borough. But in terms of West Brom fans, they said, man, give him as much abuse as you wanted, because you had the last laugh at the end of the day. When he came running on the pitch at the 90 minutes, I think he had the last laugh.
Well, 6 points from the 2 games against West Brom this season. That's all Tony Pulis has to say to them, doesn't he?
They must be deviled, though, the fact that they came up here the first time, gave him all that abuse, beat him 1-0. And then they were singing Tony Pulis, your football is whatever.
Not very good.
Yeah, that's a nice word to use. And then, you know what I mean, we did him again. And to make it worse, Dwight Gale celebrated in front of the Borough fans. And then he went and scored, and then he was left crying, because even though you 2 were up, lads, you still managed somehow to mess it up, and we came with the 3 points, so geez, with the 6 points, up to Tony Pulis.
The only thing I worry about, mate, is, and I hope it doesn't happen, we don't meet them in the playoffs, because you know that could come back but hopefully we won't need the playoffs.
Everyone remembers Norwich, 4-1 up here, 4-0
4-0, 1-0 away, and then, but that's a long way off yet, but... Going back on Saturday, mate, George Saville opened the scoring. Tidy finish, put us 1-0 up.
Finish, that was a brilliant goal.
Yeah, because he intercepted from Gareth Barry, wasn't it? And he did really well.
Went through the defender's legs, didn't he? Straight to the bottom corner.
Good finish. And for much of the first half, I thought we looked quite comfortable on Saturday. And then, what happened after that?
Their first goal for me, I was so disappointed with James. We have about 4 or 5 border defenders in that box, which you can see if you pause it back on the TV or whatever. There's 4 or 5 border defenders, and he's still allowing one man to run to your back post and put it in the back of the net.
I thought we were a bit unlucky because, like I say, it was a miss-hit shot.
Oh, miss-hit.
And there's Rodriguez.
But you could tell it was coming because even after we scored, they were on the ball. We were trying to press, but they were just putting us back. And you could tell that just before the break they were going to score, and it was possibly the worst time that you can concede in a football match.
Yeah.
It's before the break, but it was just in the manner that we conceded. I mean, listen, within the first couple of minutes they could have scored Gareth Barry.
Yes, it was a good save by Randolph, yeah.
So I think when we start away from home, and even at home, we don't start like straight off the mark. If you like, we need to just tie it up away. You know what I mean? We need to, as soon as it kicks off, be on it straight away, sort of thing.
I was a little bit surprised in West Brom because they have got a reputation of being a good footballing side, which I think they are in the Championship season. They seem to spend a lot of the first half, though, throwing balls into the box when you think we had Fry, Ayala and Flint there, and I thought, this is meat and drink to them lads. They're quite I thought, surely they must have known how to get round us, but I think when you've got the likes of Rodriguez, Gale, any half chance, they're onto it, and their 2 goals were just like half chances where the ball's just bobbing around the box, put them away.
Got deflection, didn't it, into the corner? I mean, listen, he had to score passes, didn't he? Enjoy the reject.
And when it went 2-1, be honest, did you figure the worst when it went 2-1 down?
100%, yeah. Listen, man, I said after the game, you know, as soon as it went 2-1, you see that little reject score. Suddenly, I am thinking it could go all bad because at the time we were playing a formation which I don't like it, if I'm honest with you. I don't like the 5-4-1.
Right.
You're playing away from home. I get that we're playing like the highest team that scored the most goals
in the Championship. Yeah.
I get that, but surely then you've got to change it. I mean, when he did change it, brought 2 up front. Look what happened. Look how more sort of direct when Van La Parra came on, and he was charging through the middle of the play. And you think to yourself, from this point on now, it has to be without any question, and even tomorrow night. It's got to be 2 up front every single game because you've got to think, we've just beat a team there that's still got Premier League players in the team being West Brom, which they have, let's be real, they have. Jay Rodriguez can get into a Premier League team. Dwight Gill, he's on loan from a Premier League team.
Excuse me.
You know what I mean? But you're playing Leeds on Saturday. Don't go 1 up front against Leeds.
I think we will, you know.
Maybe we'll go 1 up front, but the thing, if you go 2, you put them on the back foot. We will beat teams at home and away, and I swear to you now, from now to the end of the season, we could be in that top 2. If you listen to the fans and just put the 2 for it, have faith in your strikers.
I'm sort of with you, mate, but I'm not too sure. I think in some cases I can understand why he'll maybe play either 5 at the back or another man in midfield because he's maybe a little bit concerned. I know you shouldn't always tailor your tactics to the other team, but he's maybe a little bit worried about our midfield not being strong enough to compete with some teams. And I think Leeds might be one on Saturday where he thinks some of the players they've got in midfield, he'll be really concerned about making the game too open too early. And I think he's also, whether it's right or wrong, I think he's quite happy to bring a Sombalonga on after Hugel's taken a battering for 60, 70 minutes and then introduce a Sombalonga. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. But I don't know whether he likes to start with a Sombalonga. And I don't think he certainly doesn't want to start with him and Hugel, I don't think, up front. And I think he will go Hugel on his own up front on Saturday and bring a Sombalonga on in the second half. I might be wrong, but I think that's what probably will happen.
The thing is, we've got 2 strikers there that are Championship proven when they've had someone to play off. You've seen it. I mean, look at Brett Sombalonga's world against Blackburn. Yeah. He got teed off by his fellow striker, Jordan Hugill.
The first goal on Saturday was the same, wasn't it?
Do you know what I'm saying? It was a hold-up play. Now, if Hugill doesn't have Brett Sombalonga there, he loses on the edge of the box, and we probably lose the game 2-1. Yeah. We create chances because we've got 2 proven Championship goal scorers. I mean, Hugo can bang in 20 goals a season if you put someone next to him. Yeah.
It's a hard job on your own up front, isn't it?
It's rock hard, but when you played against Leeds, we've just been beaten, and it was great to see him get beat for 3-1 on the weekend. I'm not going to lie, it wasn't. It was the most fantastic thing I've ever seen. So shout out to all the Norwich fans out there. But like I say, back on track. It was great to see, and I just think to myself, well, if they've managed to do it, surely we can do the same.
I think we could if we had the sort of players that Norwich do. I don't know if we've got quick players coming through that midfield. I know you've got Wing.
Van La Parra, you've got Tav.
Yeah, I don't think they'd all play though for us, and I think the type of players Norwich have got that suited them to go the way they did. They did a really high press on Leeds, and I don't know if we can do that. I don't know. I might be wrong. But like I say, at the weekend, he changed things when we went 2-1 down. Brick came on, Van La Parra, you mentioned, he came on. For Dale Fry and the Force, John Obi-Mikel. He came and he had another good game as well, didn't
First time I've seen him. First time I've seen him, obviously I was away when he played his first game. Yeah. What a player we've got there. It really is what a player. Every time I seen him on Saturday, he didn't look sort of under pressure.
Doesn't look rushed, does he? He got the ball, doesn't lose it very often, does he?
And he just can't. Yeah. If anyone comes up to him, he just knocks it out the way. I'm just going to pass it on. Yeah. A fantastic player then. What an experienced player we've got as well for them younger players in our team there. Yeah. That can learn from him. And like I say, he's just going to be brilliant. But one player disappointed me on Saturday and it was Mo Besic. I was really gutted at his performance again. Yeah. there was a chance on Saturday, and I screamed at him in the end. There was a pass on for him, right, in the first half. There was a pass, I think it might have been Saville was wide open, and he turned back into 3 West Brom players.
Yeah,
why?
Yeah.
I don't know why he's doing these
He's
things.
he's certainly not the player he was last season.
No.
Whether it's a crisis of confidence or what, he's not the player he was last season, is he?
It's just a shame to see, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So, like you say, 2 great goals from Britt. How relieved are you? I mean, we talk about the transfer window. We could have lost him last week. How relieved are you that he's still here?
Wasn't he still here? Like I say, I think Cardiff won him in the end, didn't they? I think it was.
There was a few clubs looking round. Yeah, Blackburn were linked with him. So yeah,
you can see why though, because like I say, you know what I mean. You play the ball into his feet. It's what we've always said. If you play the ball over top to us on Bolonga, he can't do it. But you put it into his feet inside the penalty box.
Yeah.
And I mean, his first goal was spot on. He stopped the play dead, took it with his left, and just put it in the bottom corner. And I thought that's what he's doing. Even his second goal, that's confidence. To get the ball and to not put it over the top of the box, just to put it straight to the top corner. Yeah. With the bend that he put it on.
No, as soon as it left his foot, you knew that was in, didn't you?
Oh yeah, bang on the line, minute, that's in. But like I say, man, he's on double figures now for the season. Yeah. He's going to be playing every game. And Hugh Gill, I mean, after he scored, I mean, obviously after Britt scored, you've seen his celebration. Just in front of the Borough fans went mental. Yeah. You see what it means to you see what it means to everyone. Yeah. And they're all going to be on a high. If we can get a result tomorrow, going to Leeds, our back goes all the way against Leeds. I tell you, because everyone's going to be confident. The whole team's going to be feeling it. But I'm just hoping and praying that hopefully he plays 2 up front. I really am.
So, well, there's no Borough fans. What do you think? Do you think Tony Pulis will go 2 up top against Leeds at the weekend in the big game at the top of the Championship? Or do you think it'll be horses for courses, or he'll stick with the usual formation of maybe 5 at the back, 4 in midfield with the 1 up top? Let us know. What are the viewers saying, AJ?
Well, Leeds fan in here, LUFC Dave always remembers Toby. He says, who should we keep an eye out for on Saturday?
Who we should keep an eye out for Leeds?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, they've got a lot of good players, Leeds. I mean, Roof scored a lot of goals this season for him, hasn't he? Klitsch, lad in midfield, he's a very good player. I like him in midfield a lot. They've got young lad Tyler Roberts as well. So
he's a good player.
They've got a lot of good players. I mean, at the end of the day, they've been at the top. They've been the top 2 now since about September. They're not there because they're a poor team. They're a good team. They've had a great season. As much as we maybe don't like them, you've got to give them credit. They've done very well. I think it'll be a hard-fought game. We'll go on to that in a minute. I mean, just going on about what you said there about when they played Norwich at the weekend. I've got to be honest, I wanted Leeds to win on Saturday.
Did you?
I did, because I just thought it'd maybe pull Norwich back towards us.
True.
And I thought...
I think we're 7 points away.
We're 7 behind them both now. I think if Norwich had lost, we'd have been 4 behind them. So I was hoping for Leeds to win. The one time in my life I wanted Leeds to win, they get beat, so there you go.
Joe Scott said that he's played 3-5-2 from now to the end of the season.
3-5...
Risky playing 3 at the back.
It is. I mean, you could maybe make it into a 5-3-2 with the two wing-backs pushing on. I don't know. I just... In certain games, I would definitely go 2 up top at home. Certainly, for the majority of home games, I think you do have to go 2. Yeah. Leeds on Saturday is a game where I can maybe understand why if he goes 1, I can get that. I know why he's doing it. But for the majority of home games, I would go 2 up top. 100%. When you're playing teams like we've had this year, like Bolton, Wigan, so I can't think why you don't go 1 up top against them.
And we take some appreciation as well to appreciate Jordan Hugill's dive on Saturday.
Jordan. Mate, really, seriously.
I mean, the player was nowhere near you, mate. You've gone past him, you've near on that byline, and you've just jumped on the floor.
That might be on Soccer AM on Saturday morning, that one, I think.
I've seen it.
I've got a feeling that's going to be on there.
When I got home, I seen it, and I thought, Jordan, I stood up and just went, nice one, mate.
Yeah.
Well done, son.
No, but in fairness, in terms of his overall performance, I thought he had a great performance, because he was up against 2 absolute beasts there. Yeah. Dawson and I forget the name of the other lad that was at West Brom side, but
Hagazi.
He put in a real shift there on Saturday, and he took a lot of a stick, and he was still there for the last 20 minutes to help the Sombalonga set up the first goal for him, and he worked his socks off on Saturday. So big shout out there to Jordan Ugle. So who else stood out for you at the weekend? Obviously, people are going to say Britt, but anyone else?
Britt, I thought Mikel was spot on, mate.
Yeah.
Mikel, I thought was fantastic. I thought Saville took his goal well.
Yeah.
Wing, he was a
bit quiet on on Saturday.
Quiet. He was all right, but he's a bit quiet. First half he got on the ball, but I think, like you say there, I think he's a bit quiet. You, Gil, like I say, he's a battering ram at the top. You know what I mean? And I thought that little bit of play, that little bit of play alone to bring him back to 2-2.
Yeah.
He had about 4 defenders around him, but he still held them all off.
Yeah.
Into
Put the ball
Sombalonga.
into him,
He
yeah.
took a touch, but I think Sombalonga for me was man of the match. The impact he had when he came on the pitch, mate, it was unbelievable.
I think that was the type of player, and I know he had somebody up alongside him, and it makes a big difference to Brit when he has that. But that was the type of striker I was expecting we were getting when we signed him from Forest 18 months ago.
Comes on and changes the game. Just won us the game like that.
Fantastic.
When we went 3-2, I thought, oh my, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Because when we were 2-1 down, I thought this could be the end of it here. Do you know? And then even when he came on, I thought, Brit, you've got to do something. But for me, I think he's looking a bit more sharper as well recently, Brit.
Well, he did really. I mean, 5 goals in 5 games now he's scored, which is a good return.
About 11 goals.
11 goals this season, So I mean,
unbelievable.
you normally say if your striker ends up between 15 and 20 goals, it's a good season. Well, we're only just into February. He's got 11. There's every chance 11, he could get 15
last
to 20.
Year, what did he get last year? 16?
Yeah, I think about 15, 16 last year. So
bad,
he can score in this league, can he? He can score goals in the Championship. So, before we look at the game on Saturday with Leeds and tomorrow night's game with Newport, any more feedback there, AJ?
Mate, a fair bit. The Leeds fan has said for you guys, so he's asking us what Borough players should we look out for.
What Borough players? Well, I think obviously McKell's been very tidy in midfield for us. And like we've just said there, I think we've just touched on a Sombalonga and Hugill. It'll be interesting to see what sort of side. I think you'll get a good indication of what team we'll put out on Saturday by who plays tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolutely.
True,
because the rest half and morning.
I think there'll be a lot of changes tomorrow night,
He said score prediction for Saturday. But I don't think
we're going to come on to that in a minute now, score predictions,
Hugill's work rate is unreal from Matty Groves.
Yeah, good shout, Matty.
Hugo dive on Saturday is pathetic and needs to cut out of his game.
I know Tony Pulis has come out once or twice before and said that he doesn't need to do it, and he doesn't.
No, he doesn't need to dive.
You don't want to get a reputation for it, do you?
Nah, because then of course, like I say, it looks bad on the referees. Well, the referee can't give you penalties then.
Yeah.
And someone said as well, what will the Newport score be? But I'm sure we'll get
on to that one as well.
And AJT and James said you're going down tomorrow.
You lads are, aren't you?
We'll be there.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
Yeah, you're setting off straight after the show, aren't you, tonight? He's going straight, He's packed his suitcase and everything, haven't you?
I am, man. Like I say, man, sitting there for Tenerife. I'm in Jordan t-shirt in my hand, bothered unpacking him. Got me sun cream in there, factor 30.
Oh, you'll need that down there, yeah.
Oh,
beautiful.
Yeah.
South Wales by the sea, lovely.
James Hutchinson back in the Rector Academy days, some man.
Oh, back in the happy days there, Rector Academy. Thank you very much. Good shout out. So, that win on Saturday keeps us in 5th place in the Championship. But we're also, like you said there, AJ, within touching distance of Leeds and Norwich now. 7 points behind. We've got a game in hand. And as fate would have it, we've got our friends from West Yorkshire here at the weekend. It's well documented, I think, this season, our problems at home that we've been having. But do you think this game, Leeds, 4,500 fans there bringing, do you think that's just the sort of game that the team and the Borough fans need? Because everyone's going to be behind it, aren't they?
I wonder if they've managed to get 4,500 first of all. I'm sure we haven't charged the money that you charge us to get into that stadium.
No, I think it's £30 for adults. It's a lot more than £30 to go to Welland Road, isn't it, for us?
It's about 42 quid normally to go into that place that you like to call home, even though I don't like to call it that. But this game is probably coming at the right time. It's a time where to all of us fans, and I'm not going to exclude myself when I say it, need to get behind the team at home. Because I've been one as well that's kicked off about the home form and everything else. But this is it. I think I've just read a comment then. We've sold 28,000 for Saturday.
Yeah, great.
And the 28,000 that are going, including myself and including everybody in the room, we all have to get behind the team.
Yeah.
If we can beat Leeds on Saturday, I think there and then all that toxic needs to go. We don't need to be toxic no more. There have to be no more booing.
I don't think there's anything to be gained from it now, mate. And you might not maybe agree with the tactics or the formation, but at the end of the day, everybody, all Borough fans want the same thing. We want the team to go up.
Yeah.
We want them to succeed. We want them to do well. And I think the best way to do that at the weekend, certainly against Leeds, you've got to get behind the lads straight away.
100%.
And things might go wrong like they did at Saturday at West Brom. But the fans that were there at the Hawthorn on Saturday, they still got behind the team, and they were rewarded with us getting the win at the end, weren't they?
Mate, like I say, it's one of them where I think even if we go 1-0 up early, that there will set the tone for the atmosphere. If we can come out and attack Leeds straight away, if we can get the goal within the first 10 minutes and keep going as from there, the atmosphere in that stadium is going to be absolute bouncing.
I think it's going to be a great atmosphere anyway, isn't it, mate?
100%.
I really do.
I think Leeds, as much as I don't like them, they're going to bring a big atmosphere with them.
Yeah.
4,500 singing March on to Aldi again. It's going to be great to hear you singing all that. But listen, we're going to be there, you're going to be there, and let's just see what happens. Let's just bring the atmosphere.
It's a big game, and it's always been, for me, always a standout fixture in our season. When you've played Leeds, it's similar to like the Newcastle Sunderland thing. It's a big game, everyone's up for it. And I don't think that'll be any different at the weekend, mate. I think it'll be a good atmosphere there. It's a big game, huge game for both clubs, isn't it?
Massive, like I say, obviously for Leeds, if they win, they can go up a few more points clear of third and fourth and fifth. And if we win, then we can just keep closing the gap.
Yeah, we're right back
in it. You know, every single game now, though, is so important to us. It's like, even if you beat Leeds, we have to beat Sheffield United because you have to keep chasing that gap. Yeah. We want automatics. We might not be ready to go up, but at the end of the day, if we go up, you get the millions.
I was going to say, I don't think it matters if you're ready or not. You just take that money, don't you? Because the club will need that money, whatever happens.
Back up into the Premier League, and then listen,
you never know.
Borough will be back in the big league, but only if we get behind the team and cheers on to the end of the season.
And like we said earlier, mate, I mean, the self-proclaimed champions of Europe, as they call themselves, I mean, they have had an excellent season, haven't they? But on Saturday, they lost 3-1 at home to Norwich, like you said. They've now lost 4 of their last 6 games. Do you think the Spygate fiasco, do you think that's affected them more than they might admit? Or do you think,
100%. Yeah. Mate, 100% that's affected the morale of the team. I was speaking to a few Borough fans over there, and I was saying, if they go up, right, well, they always have that thing of being labelled as cheats.
I think some people throw that at them more, which is, I think, is unfair, because at the end of the day, they haven't broken any rules. I don't agree with what they've done.
It's unprofessional. It's an unprofessional move.
But I think where Bielsa's from in Argentina, they do all sorts of little tricks like that. It's just like trying to get one over your opponent. I don't think he sees anything really wrong with it. They haven't broken any rules, and I think it'd be unfair in a way. But I think you're right. You're totally right. People will always throw back at them. Well, you cheated.
You cheated. You this, that, the other. Yeah. And I think the players are thinking to themselves, hang on a minute, maybe they didn't know, maybe they did know. But we don't know what the Leeds players are thinking whenever they're around each other inside the dressing room. All we know, and personally, you're watching them, they do look like the morale's been knocked completely. They look like everything's been chucked all over, because for the Spygate, mate, let's be real, they were knocking teams left, right, and centre, taking points off and moving on. I couldn't have been happier at this moment in time, seeing that they've lost 4 of the last 6. It's absolutely marvellous as a Borough fan, and you know, I've just got a smile on my face because that's what it is. But you know, I was just saying, Norwich have done half the job for us. You know, they've done half the job for us. They've knocked them out of the top spot. Now the Borough have to knock them out of the Teesside and beat them.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's a tough. I don't think any team really, very few teams get promoted out of the Championship and it'd be plain sailing for the whole season. When we got promoted 3 years ago, we seemed to be coursing it, and then all of a sudden, end of January, February, we hit the buffers a little bit. You had the Karanka situation and all that, and it does, and maybe that's what's happening to Leeds right now.
Yeah.
But I still stand by. I think they're a good team, and I think it'll be a real test for us at the weekend.
On a serious note, they have had a brilliant season. Yeah. They started off well. I think they went on a bit of a sort of dodgy path towards the start of the season. They sorted it out. Look where they are now. They are second, and when they come to the Borough, we have to look at obviously, you know, on a sort of respectful manner. The second, they're playing decent football. Yeah, okay, they lost 4 out of the last 6. They're still a major threat that can still hurt you. They've still got players in that team that can just do you like that and turn on you. So we have to be completely honest. I mean, this game is massive. This is one of our biggest games of the season. And whether they like to admit it or not, for them,
it's a huge game for them as well. It's huge. Yeah, like I say, now you're getting towards, not right towards the end of the season, but you can see sort of it's starting to spread out a little bit now at the top of the tables. A little gap developing between the top 8 clubs and beyond that. And I think now that even the teams at the top 2 can see these chances, like you said there, Leeds at the weekend will think, hang on a minute, we could go 10 points clear of Borough if we win this.
100%.
We could then turn on to, well, if we win, we're 4 points behind them with a game in hand.
And then going to that Sheffield United one, then if anyone's to lose, I mean, listen, if we can beat them, then what is it after we beat them? It should be Blackburn.
It should be if we're not in the cup.
1 point, it's one of them, but this is really the business end of the season.
It is.
This is it. Leeds, don't mess it up on Saturday, lads. I'm telling you, don't mess it up on Saturday, because if they mess it up on Saturday...
Are you thinking they're feeling the pressure, do you?
Don't mess it up, boys. Cooper, the captain, don't mess it up, boys, because I'm telling you now, we're coming. 28,000 Borough fans will be in that stadium. Your boy AJT will be in there singing. Don't mess it up, boys. I'm telling you, don't mess it up. We're coming.
Well, there'll be a few other people in that stadium that we'll know quite well at the weekend, AJ. Adam Forshaw, Patrick Bamford, Jack Harrison. They're all coming back to the Riverside, this time with Leeds shirts.
He's a cracking player, Jack Harrison.
Yeah, they'll have that away top that looks like an Arriva bus seat. But... They'll be wearing that probably on Saturday, so that's just going to add a bit more spice to the occasion.
I've never heard that one before. The Arriva bus seat.
Where do you think the danger's going to come from there for Leeds?
Listen, they are a dangerous team.
Yeah.
Mr. Patrick Bamford up front, who got nutted at the weekend. But you know, they have got some good players. Glick
Yeah.
especially, he's the one that does stand out to me. I mean, that guy can hit a shot from 30 yards
Yeah,
out
he's
and put
a
it on
good player.
target. Remember his goal against Sheffield Wednesday when Adam Reach scored the screamer
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
he did it afterwards. He put
Yeah.
edge of the box. Tommorow, what
He's
a
having a
player
good
he is.
season.
Last couple of seasons, he's come on leaps and bounds, and especially this season.
Yeah.
You put that ball anywhere, it's a bit like Brit, anywhere, give him the service inside that penalty area. The guy's going to bang a goal in for you. Them two alone scare me.
Yeah.
I think Jack Addison is listen, man, he's a great player. Why we didn't play him at Borough, why he didn't get his game at Borough, I don't know. But since he's been at Leeds,
yeah,
he's been terrific
well
since he's been
involved.
there. So
Yeah.
they have a lot of dangerous players. But saying that, we have players that on our day can turn up and they can be like, who the hell is that player? It's just a ball. So it's one of them where it's going to be a great game because both sets of teams have good players who can change a game.
The game down there was an evenly fought game. There wasn't many chances, but it was almost like a bit of a chess match, wasn't it? That they sort of cancelled each other out.
One off the line for them, I think.
Yeah.
Howson had the shot that they went in the top corner.
Yeah, it was a really good game, and I know it finished 0-0, but it kept me enthralled, that game. And I think it's going to be pretty similar at the weekend. So we'll see if we've got any predictions from any of our fans out there watching.
Got a fair few in now. A lot of Leeds fans joining us now. Good luck from a Leeds fan there. Fair play, it's a long way. I think that's from a.
Off at tomorrow night, going to Newport.
Yeah. Hope you all enjoyed the trip to Rodney Parade. Norwich are the one to watch.
Norwich have surprised me. I don't know why you look through that. I mean, I've been waiting for them to drop off the pace, and I don't think there's any sign of it now. And big respect for them going to Leeds, winning 3-1, and they just keep churning out results. And I think they are going to be up there now.
The Leeds fans getting a bit. He's saying we might be wearing our new yellow kit.
Oh, new yellow
Saturday.
kit. Very nice.
Yellow, not gold, is what it is. Shows a sign of weakness there. Norwich to finish in the top spot. I hope we'll get the playoffs. And that's then some other people having a conversation amongst themselves.
I mean, I think, if I'm being honest, after the transfer window closed last week, if someone had said to me we'd get in the playoffs, I think I would have taken it.
Yeah.
But now after winning on Saturday at West Brom, you're like thinking, hang on a minute, there's still a chance the top two still could be open.
It's going to be so tight from now to the end of the season. I think what we need to do now is break away from 7th.
Yes.
We have to let that gap happen.
There's only a 3-point gap at the minute. Derby are now 7th. Because Bristol City have moved into the top 6. So Derby, who are again a good team, they're now out the playoff places.
They're a weird team, Derby. They do so well all season. And then they'll drop off.
It's the old Derby County, it's happening again.
It's happening again, lads. But we need to make sure that come March, April time, we are in the top 4 with a gap on 5th. The top 2, listen, if we go up automatically, I'm jumping in the bloody river. How many times have I said that?
You were always in that river,
how many times have I said that? It's happening. I said it against Burton, and it turned in the other way. So if it happens this time, I'm in the river, and Uchi's going to film it. But you know what I mean? It's one of them. But
I think we said a couple of weeks ago we'd know more about Borough's season after these 3 games: West Brom, Leeds, and Sheffield United. We knew whether we'd be looking at the top 2 or whether we're going to be looking behind our shoulders saying that we're going to hang on to a top 6 place. We've won the first one. We've won at West Brom. We've got the next 2 to come now, Leeds, Sheffield United. Sheffield United we'll look at next week on the show.
That'll be a rock hard game.
That'll be a hard game. I know
it was a hard game
tough.
last year at their place when they did us 2-1.
Yeah.
Them lads are quick at home. They start quick.
They are a good team.
They're out, yeah.
But this is a big test on Saturday. So, mate, prediction for Leeds United at the Riverside at the weekend.
Yeah. I'm going to go for a 2-0.
To the Borough.
To the Borough. 2-0. If we start quick and we get straight out and we get the first goal, I'm going to see who's going on and winning it.
James on the camera, what do you reckon, mate?
2-1 to the Borough.
2-1 Borough.
What are you saying?
Pressure on here then. It's got to be the full house, isn't it? I think we'll sneak it 1-0.
Yeah.
I really do
think we'll
sneak it 1-0. I think it'll be games quite similar to the one at Leeds. Don't think there'll be many goals, and I think we might get the one. I think we'll win it 1-0.
Hopefully.
So anyway, before then, you lads are straight off to Newport after this, aren't you? Long journey down to South Wales for a 4th round replay. The prize for the winners is a home tie against Pep Guardiola.
It's a
Pep
great
Guardiola's
game, that.
Man City. All the All-Stars. How do you see it going tomorrow night against County?
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
You know, as James said in his interview before, we can't underestimate Newport. And having watched back the highlights of that game, they aren't a bad side. The League Two, they're chasing the playoffs. I think they're about 10 points off 5th or 6th now.
I think they've got a few games in hand, haven't they?
In the Cup, mate, man, they went all the way with Tottenham.
Yeah, they drew at home with Tottenham last year. They beat Leeds at home. They beat Leicester at home.
The old champions of England. So we can't go down there tomorrow night expecting to win it. I think the Borough fans that are travelling as well were fantastic.
Big shout out going there midweek.
Unreal, absolutely unreal. You know, days holidays getting chucked in, but You know, that's fantastic. Nearly 450, was it?
Yeah, that's what was being sold at the weekend. So I dare say there may be a few more
Maybe
going
about
down there. Like I
600
say,
maybe?
yeah, I mean, midweek, it's a tough old trip, that, innit?
It's a tough trip, but I'll tell you what, it's a fantastic support from the Borough again. And like I say, you know, if this game's on a Saturday, I reckon we'll have a few thousand there, wouldn't there? But I think tomorrow's going to be tough. You know, going forward, you know what I mean, they've got a fair few decent players in that team. Managers, Michael Flynn, he's got them playing right as well. So League Two, mid-table, but like I say, we have to be on it 100%.
I think so, because that draw in a way is just going to give them an extra 10%.
They've sold out then, did you know?
Yeah. Well, they sold out against Leicester, and I think 6,000 the ground all. So it's going to be absolutely rocking there tomorrow night, because they'll be desperate to see them get through and play Man City. They'll never get another chance. I mean, yeah, we see Man City every now and again when we get up to the Premier League. We've played them in cup games, but for a club like Newport to play Man City, you imagine Aguero, Kevin De Bruyne, Sterling, all them turning up there at Rodney Parade. So you can imagine what they're going to be like tomorrow night. They're going to be absolutely desperate. I know Michael Flynn's came out today and he said, I don't want it to be like a bullseye moment where you come to the end of the show or the end of the match tomorrow night and you say, look what you could have won, lads. You could have had Man City at home and you've lost it. And I understand that. So I think...
But we've got to be looking at exactly the same sort of thing,
And I think we've got to be prepared. They're going to come absolutely flying out the traps tomorrow night because they're desperate to win, aren't they?
100%, but we have to look at exactly the same light. If we can get through, we can almost do sort of revenge when they did us in the... Was it the FA Cup?
FA Cup, they beat us a quarter-final a couple of years ago.
2-0. And we sat there and we thought, you know what it is, we could have been going to Wembley there for a semi-final. So we lost it. We've gone through what... You know what I mean? It was that a bullseye moment where we lost a chance to go to semi-final at Wembley. So we've got to go there tomorrow, mate. We've got to be on it 100% because, of course, you know, it's mad to say that League Two, but listen, with all respect, you have to... that's what it is. Respectful that these lads can take you, and you showed up here. Never say a die attitude. Kept going all game, the 1-0 down. I'm be honest with you now, right? I'm on my holidays, we're 1-0 up. And I put my phone away and went, 1-0. Said, Borough won't do anything here. I said, Borough won this game 1-0. Little did I know, the jaw is ripping into me because the Borough drawn 1-0, but that's as simple as it is. I don't want to lose tomorrow, right? I want to be as confident as I can be, but I know what could happen tomorrow. We could go there expecting it. It's a different pitch. It's a 3G pitch.
Exactly. Well, the pitch it won't be the best. I mean, it certainly won't be in the condition what the Riverside is. It'll be a bit of a leveler there tomorrow night, their pitch. I think they've had a lot of rain and snow down there as well, so it'll make it really boggy. It's going to be a tough one.
Is it a 3G pitch?
No, they've just got Norwich, but it's actually a pitch which is used for rugby as well. A rugby union team plays on there as well, so you can imagine what it's going to be like there. It's going to be all over, so... It's going to be a tough one, bit of a leveler there. In terms of the team, we've said we think there'll be a few changes. Who do you think will be involved tomorrow, maybe AJ?
I think hopefully plays Randolph. We need a safe pair of hands in that goal tomorrow night.
You would play Randolph?
I'd play Randolph in goal. Dimmy and Lonergan, I just want us to go through, so I just think we need the best set of hands that we've got and the best goalkeeper between the sticks. Darren, I think right back and left back have picked themselves. Not many other players that can play in that position.
Not unless he goes for a few young lads, maybe.
Spence, because maybe he's coming at right back. I'd play personally Shot on right back, Friend left back.
Right.
I'd even have a senior centre pairing. I'd have Flint and Fry.
Gosh, because you're taking a bit of a risk potentially with a big game against Leeds at the weekend. Where you'll think you'll go strong team.
You have to. It's the FA Cup. I mean, just look at the prize in the next round. You've got to take it seriously. I'd go 4-4-2 tomorrow, and I'd just attack them. Right. At the end of the day, they're going to attack you, and we have to score first, and then try and build on it. Midfield, I would play Van La Parra. I would play Tav tomorrow.
I think I would go along with you with those two.
I'll probably play. Go on.
I think Clayton will come in tomorrow. Maybe the one about maybe Van La Parra or Tav. I don't know. I think he might start Downing tomorrow.
Maybe.
I think Downing will start tomorrow.
Howson might get his game.
Howson might come in. And I don't know how fit he is or if he is available. I'm not sure if Gusted might start tomorrow. I think he might start Gusted with a Somber longer.
Let's hope not. But or even Fletcher.
Oh, Fletcher, yeah.
Fletcher might be in
there. We'll
see.
All will be revealed. So before you lads go off and finish your packing and get the sat-nav plugged in for Rodney Parade, give us a prediction for tomorrow night.
It's going to be a hard, I'm just going to go for... I'm going to go for a 1-0.
1-0 Borough.
I'd take a 1-0. It's going to be tough.
I think it's going to be really hard tomorrow night. Yeah. James, what are you going tomorrow night? 2-1 Borough.
It's that final...
I can see you going to extra time tomorrow.
Yeah, do you know, I
can see it being 1 each, going to extra time. I can see you even going to penalties and then You just don't know, do you?
Whatever happens.
I think we'll win on penalties.
5-4 or something.
Yeah.
5, right.
Well, AJ, mate, thanks.
Yes, no problem.
Glad to have you back on the show, mate.
Yes.
Thanks for watching, all you Borough fans,
No
Leeds
more
fans,
holidays.
Newport fans, Cardiff fans. Thanks for you all watching tonight, getting involved. Just a big shout out to Telford Teessider,
Yeah.
Dean Chetwood. Had a good chat with him at the match on Saturday. Great support the Borough down there in Shropshire, mate. Keep up the faith, keep supporting the Borough. Bet you enjoyed that result. It made your weekend, mate. Don't forget to subscribe to Borough Fan TV, everybody out there. Until next week, from us all here at the Longlands Club, good night and up the Borough.
Peace.